Good morning again from Florida. I'm banging on about the New York Times again, the paper that whose motto is all the news that's fit to print. Of course, that, as I said before, is all the lefty news that's fit to print. The cover of today's paper has got a photo of Havana, Cuba, in honour of Obama's recent announcements regarding Cuba. A couple of front page stories, including Latin America sees brave act. But now Latin American leaders have a new kind of vocabulary to describe Barack Obama. They are calling him brave, extraordinary and intelligent. Continued on page A17. Let's see who these leaders are that are referring to Barack in those terms. "We never thought we would see this moment," said Brazil's President Dilma Rousseff, a former Marxist guerrilla. Who would have thought? The change in tone was perhaps starkest from President Nicolás Maduro of Venezuela, Cuba's main financial patron. Venezuela is one of the leading lights of human rights in the world, of course, under Hugo Chavez and now under Nicolás Maduro. But on Wednesday, when Mr. Obama announced the Cuba deal, Mr. Maduro was almost effusive. Also, Daniel Ortega, the Nicaraguan president and former Sandinista rebel. So the so-called South American leaders who are rallying to describe Barack Obama as a hero now are all the usual suspects from the lefty side of things. The New York Times also devoted a full page to diplomacy in the Americas. Obama intends to lift several restrictions against Cuba on his own. Another article, a diplomatic triumph in Cuba comes with a challenge in North Korea. A diplomatic triumph? The superlatives just keep coming. How Obama's undercover statecraft secured 3 major accords. I wonder what accords they are. 3 of President Obama's top diplomatic achievements: the reopening of ties with Cuba, announced this week, the interim nuclear agreement with Iran, for goodness sake, and the climate change pact with China resulted from secret negotiations. Not since Henry Kissinger's secret trip to China in 1971 has a president embraced undercover diplomacy with the enthusiasm of Mr. Obama. Perhaps you can find someone who thinks that the interim agreement with Iran is some kind of a triumph. And maybe you can find some people who find the purported climate change pact with China is a triumph. Of course, it basically means that America is giving up some things immediately, and in response, China may give up some things in 20 years' time. So this is another one of President Obama's triumphs. And don't let the moment pass without Australia getting a mention. On page A6, we've got almost the full page devoted to "For Australia's Muslims, relief is shadowed by fear. No backlash after cafe siege, but feelings persist of guilt by association." And they found somebody who, Nancy Murad, a cancer researcher in Sydney, who said the day after the siege, a man shouted at her on the train, "Bloody Muslims, go back to your country." So this is news for the New York Times. Not the fact that 25 million people didn't yell at this lady on the train, but they were able to find somebody who said that somebody said something to them in relation to the Islamic issues. Now that's news.